What's going on? I guess that is probably a good place to start. What is going on? It took 7 months between fights, right? What's been happening?
It's like that all the time. You know, what's been happening is all these opponents kept pulling out all the time. You know, it's like, it's always something, you know what I mean? When I fought Jerome Rivera, Benice Bondar, he had to pull out. When I fought Manil Kopp on 3 weeks' notice because Amir Albazi pulled out. Fighters just pull out on me. I don't know what it is, man. It's like, fighters' pull-out game is strong.
That's the quote right there. No, all right. Talk about your last performance. So a decision win, but I know you're not typically fighting to decision. So were you satisfied with that, happy with that, or is it like if I don't get the finish, I don't feel like I got what I wanted?
So I wasn't satisfied with that, mainly because I had 3 weeks to 6 weeks to prepare for that fight, and I had just coming off of a loss with Manil Kopp, quit my job, working with kids. So I had so much pressure, moved out here to Las Vegas, and the weight cut was horrible, man. It was horrible because I hadn't quite get, down. It was only my second fight at 25, and now I have Clint Wattenberg helping me with my weight cut. My last fight, I didn't really have all that, so weight cut was terrible. I had one of the worst weight cuts I've ever had. Obviously, it showed, I think in the third it showed, but I felt it after the first. I felt really extremely fatigued, and it was just a lot of emotions going through having, like I said, not have my students. Usually I'm fighting and my students got my support, and I know I'm going back to them, and so this time it's a little bit different, a little lull in the air. But this time around, man, I'm comfortable where I am right now. I have John Wood and Syndicate. It's just an amazing environment, and I've never in my life had where I've only solely focused on fighting. And I think right now I can kind of breathe. I've been putting the airplane oxygen mask theory, where you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And that's the thing with me. I'm always trying to put the oxygen mask on everybody else around me. So finally now I can get me some oxygen. So it's been good. It's been really good. I think you're gonna see a spectacular Ode Osbourne on Saturday.
That's awesome. So how would you classify like your career in the UFC up to this point, right? Because it wins, losses, but as you said, not even really focusing full time until just now. So are you satisfied with what you've done so far, or do you feel like that's not even representative of who you are? Like, how would you classify it?
I would classify it as 100% not even close to being representative of who I am. I think 2015 was the last time that I truly was happy, because my mentor, father figure, coach passed away. And I had never lost a fight, amateur or a pro, never lost a fight under him, and he passed away in a motorcycle accident. And I moved to Rufus Sport, then I went to Pura Vida, and I was just bouncing back and forth, kind of almost like finding my worth, you know what I mean? And I kind of felt like I was at an all-time high in confidence, and then I went to an all-time low, and then I kind of felt like I wasn't worthy anymore, if that makes any sense. And so my confidence took a huge hit. And so it was just like, I felt like I was just going up and down, up and down, up and down. And I couldn't quite get my stride. I couldn't quite get my flow. And so, like I said, once I moved out here to Vegas, it's taken some time, but I finally feel like I have that weight off my shoulders and I can have fun. Man, I feel like Ode Osbourne again. The Jamaican sensation is finally here.
That's awesome. All right, talk about this matchup then. Zaruk, what do you think about him as an opponent?
I think he's a great opponent. I think his record doesn't reflect his talent. He was a Glory kickboxing champion, so his stand-up is, I'm not sleeping on him, But at the same time, I'm coming to finish him, and you better believe that you're gonna see some flying knees and you're gonna see everything. I'm throwing everything, but I do what I do. I'm a finishing machine. You know what I mean? I always try to finish my opponents on whatever it's stand-up, on the feet, on the ground. It doesn't matter where it is. I'm always gonna be looking to finish. But I respect him a lot, mainly because he took this fight. And it's been a battle to have opponents take fights with me, because I'm in that weird limbo space of I'm not ranked yet, but I'm too dangerous to fight, So I'm in that ego aside, I'm in that weird limbo until I get ranked where people want to fight me and it's worth something to them. Like, nobody really wants to say yes right now, because people, let's just be real, people want to look for easy fights, and I wouldn't say I'm an easy fight.
No question. Obviously, you want to prove victorious here, but what do you see as your goal in this fight? I mean, is it to go do something spectacular? Is it to maybe just see how you feel out there, knowing that you're all in at this point? I mean, is it more about that? Like, what is this fight about other than just winning for you?
So I moved to this country from Kingston, Jamaica, because I felt like I had a fire burning within since I was the age of 7 years old. I felt that, and the reason why I mentioned that is because that's my purpose. I want to be a UFC champion, and I realized that in order to be a UFC champion, I have to obliterate everybody. My goal for this fight is to not make it close at all. And my goal for not just this fight, but the next fight is to make all the fights like that. And in order to be a champion, I have to make these fights like obliterate. I have to dominate and be a dominant performance.
And are you co-signing with the rest of the Jamaican guys on getting a UFC to Jamaica as soon as possible?
Oh man, look, we already got Aljamain Sterling, Leon Edwards. Even though Leon doesn't claim Jamaica, he claims England, even though he was born in Kingston, like myself. But Rude Boy Randy Brown, shout out to him. He also is a super awesome guy. And Uriah Hall, man, we talk about Jamaican food all the time. Uriah is dope. So yeah, man, if that'd be sick. The UFC Jamaica, come on, man. Look, we are the new era. There's a new era right now, and Jamaican fighters are coming up, and y'all better not sleep on us.
I love it. Last thing for me, on paper, this looks like it could be fireworks. I mean, when you play this out in your head, do you think this is going to be kind of a back and forth battle of fireworks? Or do you think this is one where you can go get quick finishes like you have before?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I just know I'm going to go do what I do. You know what I mean? I'm going to go in there and show off my skill set, regardless of what happens in the fight. Win, lose, or draw, I guarantee you the fans are going to love it. And that's one of the things I can say without a doubt. The fans love to watch me fight because I don't go in there to try to win rounds. I go in there to try to finish my opponents. I go in there to try to put on a spectacular show.
Hey, Ode.
What's up?
Talk a little bit more about, man, like being a full-time fighter now and quitting your job and just like focusing on MMA. Like, what's the ceiling like, and just what's it been like?
So first of all, quitting my job hurt. Oh man, that was a tough one for me because if you know me, I love kids. Kids are my passion. Kids are the future. And like I said before, in order to apply the oxygen mask to the kids, I have to show them what sacrifice looks like in order to obtain your destiny. And God has already given me the gift, and I believe has already written my destiny. I just have to trust in Him and follow His plan. But it feels amazing when I tell you that I've had time to myself to kind of reflect and build mentally and physically, especially being at Syndicate where the environment is it's just such an amazing environment. John Wood is such an amazing coach. He's ugly, but he's an amazing coach. We got Vince Morales, just one of the most, I learned a lot from Vince because Vince is one of the most humble human beings I've ever met. He's just so humble. I'm like, bro, you're on your third fight contract right now, and you're fighting at the bottom, and he's opening shows on his third fight contract, and here I am, like, on my second contract on the main card, so. But Vince is always like, he's so humble. And I like being around him because I like people like that to rub off on me. Ego aside, I always want to be, there's all these Sean Stricklands and Conor McGregors and Colby Covingtons, which is good for the sport, great for the sport. But sometimes the sport needs more Jamaican iriness, some good people to spread some positivity and some love. And I know that gets annoying because people want the drama, but I'm here to bring something new to the UFC, and I think people will, hopefully, if they don't like it, then you know what, to hell with them. If they, I'm here for the people that want that positive vibes. I'm here to spread that peace, love, and positivity. That's what the world is all. There's so much war going on right now, and everything, and there's not enough of the love and the peace and the positivity. So that's my message along, being in the UFC in my career.
You got bumped up to the main card last week. What do you think that just shows about you and this fight that's going to take place on Saturday?
Well, for me personally, I think that is an honor to be on the main card, but I can't let it get above, I can't put it up here because then once you do that and once you put it up here, then the goal kind of slips away. You know what I mean? And it's the same goal. And I remember that happening when I fought on the Conor McGregor card when he fought Donald Cerrone. I got bumped to the main card, and I was like, oh man. And I made it this big thing, and I lost track of what was truly important, which was winning the fight. So, I love being on the main card, and it's going to give me a lot of exposure. But I also have to keep the face, and be aware of me and myself.
Finally, what's your favorite Bob Marley song?
Oh, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing. All right, you got the idea.
Fantastic song.
Yeah, man. Look, feel the rhythm.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned Jamaican food earlier. Considering the grueling nature of weight cutting, is there anything you're fantasizing about eating once you can celebrate and eat whatever you want after Saturday night?
Oh, I'm fantasizing about eating some rice and peas. And for all my Jamaicans out there, I'm gonna speak Pato right now. For all my Jamaicans out there, if the rice and peas not a pig steal, me not want it. I just said, if the rice and peas doesn't have pig in it, I don't want it. Because that's what they use, they use to flavor the meat. They like soak the pig in like salt and marinate, and they use it to flavor the rice, and it brings out that, ooh.
Do you have any cheat days you can have during training, or is what you eat and drink quite regimented and strict to make 125?
Right now, Clint's on my ass, so no, I don't have much of cheat days. I try, I try to get my weakness is sweets. I love candy and I love sugar. When I don't have sugar, I just get this lull. I just get like become a zombie. So I'm trying to figure out. Clint's been helping me figure out ways to put like natural sugars in my body so that I don't have those crashes.
What natural sugars?
Like fruits and berries
yeah,
and like stuff like that. Fruits and berries, like that's the same thing.
What's your go-to way to celebrate wins? Is it through food, drink, partying? How do you kind of let your hair down?
So if you had asked me this 2 years ago, my go-to way of celebrating wins would have been going out with my friends and, drinking and partying and living it up. But right now, I'm in such a focused state of mind that none of that matters really. And, I'll probably go back to Vince Morales' house and hang out with him and, a few other people. And, we might have a drink or two, but just now my go-to way is just being with close people that have your back and has been there with you. I think it says something, especially going into other fights, because I don't want to get thrown off course. I want to strike while the iron's hot. And if everything goes my way and I do get a finish, I want to be able to rebound right away. And so I can't let partying and stuff like that get me off the grind.
For sure, thanks. Best of luck on Saturday. Hope you get your, visualize your rice and pea and the pig fat.
Thank you, my man. It's pig feet.
Pig feet.
We look at this sport so much, and we know it's one person in a cage against another person. But when you talked about when for a moment there you felt kind of lost until you found your way, and now you're the Ode, you feel like Ode again. What is it about that relationship with having a team and a coach there to support you and really bring you to that point where you're feeling comfortable again in your skin?
So when I lost my coach Reese, he always told me, someday you're going to be in the UFC, and if you try, you're going to be a UFC champion. And I never lost as an amateur or a pro under him. And, when I came from Florida, Florida's full of degenerates. So I was kind of lost coming to Wisconsin from Florida. And so Reese kind of honed my abilities, taught me discipline, motivation, gave me a lot to work for and grind. And so after he died, I kind of felt, I like I said, I felt like I wasn't worthy anymore. And I felt like there was a piece of me that was missing. And coming to Syndicate, it kind of fills that void or that gap that's missing. And just the environment alone has kind of made me relax, because I've always just been so tense. You know what I'm saying? And trauma will do that to you, man. When you lose somebody that's always been so close to you, it'll do that to you. And I feel like I've never been able to bounce back until now. And I think the people are going to see a spectacular Ode Osbourne on Saturday, and I can't wait to show them what they're going to, you better believe they're going to see some flying knees. That's for sure. That's my thing.
Awesome. And last question for me, because I know you love talking about food, while you're cutting weight. A lot of times people, Jamaican, they just think jerk chicken, but I know there's a ton of other stuff out there besides jerk chicken. So is somebody wrong if they're just like, oh, I want to have Jamaican, they go jerk chicken, or what would you send them? What way would you send them if they said, hey, I want to try some Jamaican food? Where are you going to point them?
First of all, that's like, people will be like, oh, American food, McDonald's, you know what I mean? It's like, no, there's far more than McDonald's here in America, all right? So it's the same concept with Jamaican food. If you haven't tried ox, you have to try the ox. The ox is amazing. I think that's probably one of my favorites. And the beef patties is also one of my favorites. So ox, beef patty, and if you haven't tried curry goat, ooh, it's like if you like lamb, you'll like goat. You know what I mean? That goat's good.
So if you're going to dinner with somebody and they order the jerk chicken, you're side-eyed giving them some looks.
I mean, it depends. If it's their first time eating jerk chicken, then I won't knock them. You know what I mean? But if they're like being basic and just ordering jerk chicken all the time, I'll be like, bro, come on, man. You better have the ox. You better have you some ox. The ox is good. But people sometimes they don't like to experiment. So it is what it is.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, my man, for taking the time. If you were given the preference, do you want to go back to that T-Mobile arena, get that energy, or you're good with the Apex?
Man, it don't matter to me because through and through, I'm a fighter. Through and through, I was born to be a warrior. God put me on this earth to use fighting as a platform to spread his message and build in the world, etc., all that other stuff. But the reason why I bring that up is that really it doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, it's the same cage, and I think I like the Apex though because I can hear my coach. And when you can hear your coach in the corner, it makes a world of a difference. And sometimes that loudness, when I fought at Madison Square Garden, it was dope, man. It was cool. The environment was cool. Walking out was cool. But sometimes you can't hear your corner as much, So being at the Apex, when you can hear your corner, makes a world of a difference. So I love that.
That's excellent. Thank you for sharing. And
of course.
We could hear about it or social medias, yada, yada, but it's better to hear it directly from the source. What's good with the scene as far as like UFC Fight Night Jamaica? Like how big is it? Is it competing with soccer? How big is MMA as far as Jamaican goes and the fans and all that?
So boxing is really big in Jamaica. Like Jamaicans are huge with boxing. It's huge. MMA is actually just starting. There's actually a few gyms out there now. I want to say there's about 2 gyms in Jamaica right now, and they don't have much. I follow them on Instagram, and they have they're literally, wearing like shin pads and gloves, and they're out there. Sometimes they'll be out there. I watch videos of them being like on the concrete, sparring, and I'm just like, y'all, look, if we get a good foundation, I'm telling you, we get a good foundation in Jamaica, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
That's excellent, man. Best of luck on Saturday, and we'll make sure not to be basic with the jerk chicken.
That's someday. Don't be basic with the jerk chicken.
Just to jump on that, who's the main influence for boxing in Jamaica? Is it Lennox Lewis?
Yes, it is. And so my uncle was a really good boxer. He was undefeated as a professional in Jamaica. And then he retired. He retired as an undefeated boxer. But yeah, I don't know too much, but I do know boxing is huge because that was something we used to watch as kids in Jamaica. And
what's the best Jamaican candy? I know you were saying candy is like one of your things that you love.
Oh, there's so much, man. I don't even know. We call it, we say sweets like, you guys do in Europe. We say sweets. So I would say this thing called coconut drops. It's almost like a coconut pastry that has like coconut shreds. Oh, I love that, man. I love coconut drops and stuff like that. Oh, I just, even thinking about it, my mouth salivating.
I know you've been replacing fruits with the sweets, but can you fool your body into thinking like a peach is the coconut drops or anything like that, or is there nothing that compares?
Oh, I try, but my body's like, man, you better get out of here with that. All right, man. Thank you guys.